Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is another beautiful day here in Washington State. It is. I'm out here in the workspace, out here just sort of getting ready for the day. It is the weekend. It is Saturday morning as I'm filming this, about 10:15. And yeah, got some yard work to do today here around the property. Try to get it done every other week. And this time of year it grows pretty quick. So got the lawn equipment out there. And yeah, but before that, I had a bit of a brainwave last night. I was on YouTube Studio, and I was trying to sort of clean up the channel a bit, playlists and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was doing that, and I realized that it had been we're coming up on 2 years since I filmed my 1-year review on the Leatherman Free T4. And that's my most viewed video on the channel. By far and away, that is the most viewed video on my channel. And in my opinion, I didn't do a good job on it. I guess that's just how that goes. You know, you're your own harshest critic. But I'd like to come on here today and revisit that subject, if you don't mind. It has been almost, in September, end of September, it'll be 3 years of ownership of the Free T4. Without further ado, let's just take a look at this thing real quick. Definitely it's got some wear and tear on it. And it sees, oh, we got a little corrosion going on in there. We'll talk about that. But it has seen some pocket time for sure. That pocket clip has been bent out many a times. Been bent back many a times. Guess I'm stubborn. I should have just ordered like 2 or 3 of these clips just to have on hand, because they're pretty low quality clips in my opinion. But anyways, on to the tool. Yeah, like I said, almost 3 years of ownership, and it's been an amazing tool. It's been an absolutely amazing tool. It's been like it's like the bass player in a band. Underrated, but absolutely necessary. I bought this thing September 2021. Was at my local sporting goods store. Went in there and just kind of, I hadn't really done any research about these. I actually hadn't heard anything about these. They were relatively new to the market when I got it, but it stood out to me there at the store, and they had it in this nice forest green color. So I went ahead and purchased it. So yeah. Initial impressions on fit and finish were great. Everything is tight as it should be. Everything works as it should. Everything locks out as it should. Nice and solid. All the tools are one-handed in operation. Truly one-handed in operation, which I think is really cool. We'll get into the different tools and stuff like that throughout this video. So we have got 12 total tools. That's what Leatherman says on their website. We've got 12 total tools in this this little pocket multi-tool. They made a really interesting tool here, guys. It's I don't know. This is probably a little sacrilegious to say, but it's for me at least, my personal opinion, it is what the Swiss Army knife could have always been. Locking tools with some actual stock that you can really, you know, beat on. Yeah, that's my take. I've never been attracted to the Swiss Army knives. They've just never done it for me. Just is what it is. So when I purchased this, it was stickered at 75 bucks. I believe they're still right at 75 bucks. And I think that's pretty appropriate for what you're getting here. It's a pretty appropriate price in my opinion. You're getting steel and I guess you call it polymer construction. You've got the steel scales on here, which are extremely tough. I've used this side as a hammer on multiple occasions. Mostly out of pure frustration. Don't use your tools for what they're not supposed to be used for. But anyways, it held up just fine. As you can see, there's no dents. It just kind of took the beating and kept going. So yeah, and then we've got the polymer. That's the best word I'm going to use for it. You could say plastic. I'm just going to say polymer, which is really tough too. I beat on the end of this, as you can see. Definitely don't suggest doing that. Yeah. Did it once, saw it, left a pretty good mar in there, and never did it again. So we're all right. Let's start going through the tools. All 12 tools we're going to go through here. So we'll start with the knife. we have got a 420HC blade here. Interesting blade shape. Decent edge from the factory, but I definitely had to redo it. Just because I like my knives to be sharpened by me, I guess. Wasn't a bad edge, but just wasn't exactly what I wanted on there, so I did my own thing on there. I honestly can't remember what degree this thing is at. I can't remember now. If I remember by the time I'm editing this, I'll put it up on the screen here, but I don't think it's that important in today's video. So yeah, good blade, good stock on it, honestly, for what it is. It's got pretty good stock, and it's pretty thick out at the tip. Focus, baby. There we go. Yeah, pretty thick out toward the tip. And like I said, I don't really know what to call this blade shape. Like it's got a bit of a drop point. It's got a belly too. You know, it's got a nice belly, usable belly. They threw a sharpening choil in there, which is nice. And yeah, it's a locking blade. There's the lock right there. I could show you how it actuates. Just pull up on it. Yeah, it's got a good detent. What I guess you could call it a detent. I don't think it's an actual detent ball, but just the way this thing is, it's got like a nice. It's got a nice action for just a knife on a multi-tool, which is weird, but I'm all for it. So like I said, 420HC, super easy to sharpen up. Not my first steel choice, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest. I try to keep this thing oiled and taken care of as best I can. There's only so much you can do with how wet and damp it is up here. So, all right, that's the knife. Let's move on. Now to get these other tools out on here, it's a really simple motion. Just press down with the pad of your finger on these knobs right here, and the tools pop out. The tools are held in by magnets, which I think is really slick. It's really cool that they're doing that now, and the magnets over the 3 years have not weakened whatsoever. I mean, this thing has no shakes, no rattles, no nothing. It's still as tight as the day I brought it home. So kudos to Leatherman there. Yeah, let's access these tools and see what they're all about. So the first one I see here is, it's a three-way tool, so they say. I've got a big flathead. I've got a pry tool. See how that kind of tapers down right here to somewhat of a point. And then it's a package opener. See how there's that little bevel right there? Actually works pretty effectively when you're just going through tape. Not like duct tape or anything like that, but packaging tape. So yeah, three-way tool right here. This thing has some stock on it, as you can see. I've done some pretty heavy prying with this, and probably heavier prying than I should have done with it, honestly. And it held up just fine. I thought for sure I was going to snap the tip on this thing. I was very frustrated and very deep in a project, and had to get something pried out, and I thought I was going to break this, but it held up just fine. You know, it's a little marred up, but still, as you can see, sort of out toward the tip, it's a little marred up, but it's still holding in. It's still holding on, and it's just as tight. There's no side to side wiggle or anything like that. Just as tight as the day I brought it home again. So that's those tools out of the way. Next one is the file / medium flathead. So we've got a wood and metal file that I've honestly never used once on this tool. I've just never used it. And then a medium flathead, which is a really good medium flathead. I've used this quite a bit, so that is nice and handy. So that does it for that side of the tool. Oh no, I'm sorry, I lied. Last thing we got on this side of the tool is the tweezers. And you can get replacement tweezers from Leatherman for very cheap if you do lose these, but I haven't lost them yet, and they're actually, let's see if I can get this to focus, they're actually decent tweezers. Yeah. Anyways, that does it for that side of the tool. Now, get those tweezers back in there. And yeah, let's move on to the other side. So, the other side, we have got another smattering of tools. And let's get into these. I guess we could start out with the scissors, the biggest and most obvious tool. Again, all these tools lock, which is very, very nice. gives you peace of mind, in my opinion, when you're really using this tool. It's one less thing you have to worry about is one of these tools closing on you at a very inconvenient time. So yeah, these scissors have been really good. They're not as sharp as they used to be, obviously. I mean, that's just how that goes. But when I first got these, for about the first year, they would cut braid, super clean fishing braid, which is notoriously tough stuff, and it would cut it nice and clean. And now not so much. It takes a little bit of encouragement, and you kind of got to get the angle right. But yeah, they're still good for like regular fishing line and stuff like that. And you know, if I'm in a pinch and I need to cut some braid, then these will do the job, just not as clean as they used to. So I'm still trying to figure out like a way to sharpen these, I guess. I just got to get in there and do it. But anyways, that's the scissors down. So moving on, we have got the awl, which I have used. The awl, sorry, I'm trying to clean this gunk off of here, / small flathead screwdriver, as you can see there. And this awl actually works fantastic. See, the bevel on this thing, hopefully I can show this off to you. There we go. Yeah, it's got a bevel on it right there. And it's not quite sharpened. Actually, it's not sharpened, but it's sharp enough to get through leather. Once you get it started and you start rotating it, man, it just eats through leather like it's butter. So I got to give it to them for the awl. Kind of an underrated, unsung tool, but a useful one, definitely. Alright, moving on to the last couple tools on this multi-tool. We've got the bottle opener and Phillips head screwdriver, and the Phillips head screwdriver is a fantastic one in my opinion, so let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, let's talk about the screwdriver. It is, as you can see, it's thin enough to where it fits in line with the other tools, so it's not like a weird fat head, but it honestly, it really fits a very wide range of Phillips heads. Come on, there we go. I've gotten a ton of use out of this thing. It's such a quick tool to deploy and put away. It's one of the easiest tools, in my opinion, to get out. And again, the stock on this thing, it is a meaty boy for sure. Yeah, they weren't really playing around when they made this bad boy. So, and the last tool I guess we could talk about is the daggum bottle opener, which works fantastic for any of your beverage choices out there. And I think that covers all the tools. That covers everything. Okay guys, let's close this video out. Let's round this thing out, and I guess all I can say is I can openly and wholeheartedly recommend this tool. I think it's a bit of a sleeper of a multi-tool. You don't see too much about it on the old IG or YouTube, and that's kind of too bad, but that's why I'm making this video, is I kind of want to get the word out there a little more. These things are badass, and for the price point, I mean, you're getting quite a bit. The only thing you're not getting, I guess, is pliers, and that's a whole nother conversation. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for the continued support in the channel. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Later.